Pier into the Night is a really exciting program that Harbor Wild Watch does just in the winter time and at night. It's a unique program because it's getting people sort of out of their element. It's in the high 30s right now, and of course it's getting dark, and so not your typical time that you would have an outdoor education program on the water, but we are luring them in with the attractor of animals and the mystery of what's below the surface. So we actually have, right over here you can see that we have touch tanks, and so our divers have gone down and collected animals, marine invertebrates like moon snails, crabs, sea cucumbers, brought them to the surface and put them in tanks so that people can learn a little bit about them, even touch them if they feel brave enough. And then of course our volunteers and our staff members will explain their anatomy and feeding habits, what they need in order to survive, things of that nature. And then kind of the more exciting part of the program is actually the live dive portion. So that's where we actually send our scuba divers equipped with an HD video camera and lights down to the bottom, and then there's a live stream up to the surface. It's pretty exciting. The kids love it. The big kids, all of us, the adults love it as well.
Puget Sound is home to the wolf eel, which, like I said, isn't an eel and it isn't a wolf, but it's a very, very cool fish. It can get 9 feet long, and they mate for life. Oh, can anybody tell me what that red thing in the corner is? It's a sea cucumber. And this is the one that uses its guts as a defense. It also looks like it's really pokey. It's all a facade. They just look spiky to trick you into not wanting to take a bite of them. That looks like a sea anemone.
You're never sure what you're going to see. Of course, you never know what's going to come across our camera scope. And so, people have seen a squid, a school of squid coming up, right up to our camera. We even had a harbor seal once that decided to nibble on our diver's fins while he was down there.
And yeah, definitely lots of starfish or lots of sea stars. Something cool about them is, did you know they have an eye on the end of each arm? Okay, so if that one has 5 arms, how many eyes does it have?
5.
Oh, I just made you do math. We're sneaky.
Harbor Wild Watch is located in Gig Harbor, Washington, and we are about an hour south of Seattle, just about 10 minutes from Tacoma, which is the largest city in Pierce County, and just across the Narrows Bridge.
Speaking of the moon snail, yeah, so you can see its big slimy foot, the hard swirly shell, kind of looks like a moon. It's actually called the Lewis moon snail, after Lewis with the Lewis and Clark team. And so going back to how they eat, that chainsaw tongue that licks the hole in the shell is pretty impressive because it will damage the muscle that holds that clam together, letting that clam open up, and then that moon snail gets the meal. The wild thing, it takes about 3 days for that to happen. Kind of cool. Pretty mysterious creature. Some more of those tube worms. And a cool thing is these tube worms are a good sign that our ecosystem is in a healthy state. These are filter feeders, so they're taking food out of the water. And if the water wasn't up to par, they may not be around. So a good indicator that things are going well in Gig Harbor.
Our mission is to inspire stewardship for Puget Sound, and we do that by providing these unique learning opportunities. And this program in particular, we're really trying to get people to care about the animals, learn about the animals, start to care about them, because if they know about them, they're more likely going to do things that are going to keep them healthy. And that really comes back to personal behavior choices at school, at work, at home, regarding to water quality and resource use. So we're trying to instill a message of stewardship. What little tips can they take from this program, go home, and help protect our marine life here in Puget Sound?
Oh, there's Anthony. It's Pier into the Night.
That was great.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Perfect.
Thanks.
I'm Tim.
Tim,
Nice
I'm
to meet
Alan.
you. What's it like to be down there? Pointing to things? And
It's peaceful.
is it?
I could do this dive every day. It's super mellow. Every time we dive, it's something different.
You find new things?
You find new things. Well, underneath this one on the collection dive earlier today, We actually saw a GPO, a giant Pacific octopus. There's a little boat, that boat that we found out there, there's one living underneath it. So we're gonna keep an eye on him and see if we can.
It's a resident.
A resident one, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get the camera down in there, but the octopus was well down deep into the hole, so. Yeah.
And what's it like down there projecting back up here and knowing everybody's sort of watching what you're...
Yeah, you're trying to imagine what there's talking about so that you can get enough time on each animal and trying to time it just right and trying to find things that are interesting.
Well, it's all interesting, and you found some things like plates and...
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I found a piece of china.
What's the value of showing those kinds of things?
Well, I think it shows the history of this area. This area was all used for boats would come in here and they would dock at night. They'd dump garbage basically in here. And so you get a lot of old relics that came off those old boats that you can dig up out here. And kind of shows the history of the nautical history of this area.
Right, and that there's also a lot of detritus, a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah,
natural.
lots of yucky stuff in there for sure. Nets and all kinds of old fishing gear and things get stuck in here. So, yeah. And we try to come out here every so often and clean things up as much as we can. But some of those big old nets, it's hard to take them out because you do a lot of damage.
And why do you do this?
Oh, because it's a blast. Number one, it's really fun, but also I love teaching kids about the Puget Sound, get them passionate about it because it needs a lot of help and it needs our protection. So if we can get kids involved in the Puget Sound and get them knowledgeable, teaching their parents, that's a really awesome thing we can do.